All right. Let me try something here. Look, I'm gonna put a chat thing here, and you can tell me. So, can you guys hear me? Okay. All right. So, if you can hear me, can you see me? So, can you see me?
Yep.
All right. So, you're gonna have to mess with your microphone settings if some of you don't have your microphones enabled. If you go down to the left hand, like if you hover over the Zoom app and you go down to the left hand side, there's like a little microphone and there's an arrow next to it. And if you click on that, you select a microphone. And usually there's a couple of options. And if it's not working on one, just try the other. And same thing with the video. Like you go and if you do like the integrated webcam, that's what mine is on, sort of automatically. If indeed you want to have your face up on the screen there, but you don't have to have that necessarily. So Aaliyah, Aaliyah, you can hear?
Yep.
All right. And I see Atticus. I see Atticus in here. Can you hear Atticus?
Yep.
And Josiah, I think I heard you say that you could hear.
Yes, I can hear.
And Bree, can you hear? Bree, are you in here? I'm just trying to make sure people can hear what's going on. All right. Well, we'll get that kind of sorted out. How's everybody doing in this coronavirus era? Hopefully everything's going all right. So, like I said, I mean, I didn't really want to do a live lecture in here just because of issues like this. It's not. Oh wait, Bree cannot hear. Hang on a sec. Let's see. This is a time for us to kind of get this sorted out for the first time. Looks like Bree now has a microphone enabled. Can you hear us now, Bree? I think we can hear you. Can you say something? Looks like your microphone's turned off now, Bree. Again, if you go down to the bottom on the left down here, there's a microphone. On the left of the Zoom app, there's like a little microphone thing. And if there's an arrow, and if you click on that, you can kind of mess with the microphone settings and the speaker settings also so that we can hear you. So you have to select a speaker and a microphone. And you just try out a couple of those. Hopefully, eventually we'll be able to hear you and you can hear us. All right, so Eric's coming in here. Okay, Eric's trying to come in. Bree, if you can hear, why don't you type a little message down in here? Can you hear? Yeah, okay. For some reason, your microphone needs to be unmuted. Oh, what? Oh, I unmute. How did I mute you? Sorry. Can you say something now, Bree?
Yeah, hi.
Okay. I can't control any of your video things, your video feeds. I don't see any of you having your video feeds enabled, but I guess if you can see me, that's going to be good enough. Eric, can you hear?
I can, yeah.
Okay, cool. So again, this is just a time for you to ask questions about, what was in the lectures, get any kind of loose ends cleared up there, ask questions about, how things are going to run moving forward. Anything like that is fair game. So I guess I'll just kind of open it up to questions on the front end and see what's on your mind. Anything that seems unclear. Oh, and by the way, don't forget that you have that test due. When did I say that was due?
Friday.
Yeah, Friday. Yeah. So just work through that, and you can upload it in any number of file types. Like you could scan it to a PDF. You could take pictures on your phone, one page at a time, and upload a bunch of pages. I mean, whatever you have to do to get that thing up into Canvas is fine. Okay, just be nice and flexible on that. But are there any questions? Anything at all? The floor is yours.
Well, I'm looking at 2.4-3 right now.
2.4-3.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just trying to work through it right now. So I don't know, I guess we could go through that and
Okay, on a 6-question multiple choice test, there are 5 possible answers for each question, of which 1 is correct and 4 are incorrect. Okay, so there are 6 questions and each question has 5 possible responses, yes?
mm-hmm.
So precisely one of those happens to be correct of the 5 responses. Okay, if a student guesses randomly and independently, find the following probabilities. Okay, being correct only on question 1 and 4, i.e. scoring CII, CII. Okay, let's do that one first. So what would that be? By the way, can you guys see this? Let me try this. What do you see if I go like this? Is there like a little whiteboard that you see?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, this is going to be totally ridiculous because it's going to look like I'm a kindergartner writing do it with my mouse, all right? But that's all right. So being correct only on questions 1 and 4. Okay, so like Atticus, okay, so that's a particular sequence of, correct, incorrect, incorrect, correct, incorrect, incorrect, yes?
Mm-hmm.
So like, what's the probability of being correct on the first one?
That would be like 1 out of 5.
Yeah, 5th, yeah. And then incorrect on the second one.
That would be 4 out of 5.
4/5. And what do you do with those since they're independent?
Add them up.
No, not add them.
No.
You multiply, yes? So it's going to be 1/4, or sorry, you said it's 1/5, right? For the correct response. And then what's the second one? 4/5. But the thing is, it's going to be 1/5 times 4/5 times 4/5 times 1/5 times 4/5 times 4/5. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You multiply all those together since they're independent. Yeah?
Okay.
So it's going to be 1/5 to what power? And then 4/5 to how many factors of 4/5 are we going to have here?
Be 4.
Yeah.
So it'd be 1/5 to the second.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
That's what I have on the whiteboard here. Now, but on B, what are we being asked to do? So in part B, what are we asked to do? Being correct on exactly 2 questions. Now, in part A, so what's the difference? Somebody speak up here other than Atticus. In part A, it was like we were correct on 2 questions, right? Namely question 1 and 4. But what is the difference between what's being asked in part A and what's being asked in part B? What's the difference? Part B says being correct on 2 questions. Somebody speak up. How is that different from A? Anyone?
Will it be a combination instead of a permutation?
Well, yeah. So the difference is that those C's, the correct responses, do they have to be on 1 and 4 necessarily anymore? No, they don't. So what you're going to do is you're going to allow for the 2 correct responses to be on any of the 6 questions. So who was that? Was that Josiah? Was that you that said that?
Yes.
Okay, so Josiah, what do you do? I mean, you know that all of them are going to be basically the same computation that we just did in part A, but you guys are seeing what I'm writing here, correct? You guys see this?
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what do I do with this? I mean, all of them are going to have this same probability, but how many of them are there, Josiah?
There would be 6 choose 2 places for the right answers to go.
Yeah, 6 choose 2 because there are 6 questions and you need to choose 2 that will be correct. This is a 6 right here, I promise. Yeah. And then I would multiply this by the answer that we got in part A. Does that make sense? So it's 6 choose 2 times the answer we got in part A. The difference here is that those 2 correct responses could be any of those 6 questions. It doesn't have to be the first question and the 4th question anymore. Does that make sense? Does that make sense, Atticus? Since you were the one that asked?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So you would just add together all of those probabilities, but there are 6 choose 2 of them to add together and they're all the same. They're all this. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. All right. Other questions? What other questions are there? Anything else? I am at your disposal. I'm going to remove this whiteboard. Hey, so the world. Let me just ask, the videos, did those work out okay for people?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were good.
Okay. They make sense? Hopefully.
I think so.
It's probably the easiest
Right.
thing we've done this semester.
Okay, cool. Glad to hear it. Does it, is it help? Is the way in which I'm doing them helpful?
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
I've never done anything like this before, so I'm asking for feedback. Is it helpful the way that I'm doing it, or do you think some other medium would be more helpful?
No, I think it's working so far.
Okay, cool. Just so you know, I'm going to continue to reserve class time just for specific office hours for you guys. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
I always have office hours Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday at 8:30. You will always get an invitation to that.
Okay.
But the issue is there might be, there could in theory be a lot of people that come to that, because all my classes can come to that. But you can still come and ask questions, if that's more convenient for you. But this class time is just reserved for you guys to ask questions exclusively, okay? So I'm gonna continue to post those videos, and I'm not gonna let them get much longer than, 15, 20 minutes or so each. I've already been burned several times on that. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I think it was one of the videos I made for you guys. It kind of ended abruptly at some point, and then I started it back up again. The issue is I don't have you guys giving me kind of corrective feedback as I'm lecturing. So like if I make a sign error, for instance, as I'm doing a computation, someone will typically say, "Hey, you fool, you made a sign error," right? And it will get corrected in real time. But if I'm making a video, that doesn't happen. You know what I'm saying? So, so sometimes I'll carry something through for a long time, and it just ends up being a mess. So I'm trying to just do, shorter videos, and I'll just post those, and I'll kind of say, okay, this is reasonable for like one lecture, basically. Does that kind of make sense? And hopefully it does.
Yeah.
Hopefully you found the Desmos calculations to be fairly helpful. Here's an example right here. Here, let me share this with you. I was just messing with this before we came in here. Let me share this screen. Here's a Desmos I'll share with you. Can you guys see that?
Yes.
Okay. So here's a little Desmos screen. So what did I do here? So what I made is a uniform. This is a uniform distribution on the interval from 0 to 6. So the probability density function is the same height everywhere. What do you like? Don't cheat and look over here. If it goes between 0 and 6, and that's where the random variable is falling, and it's equally likely to fall anywhere in there. Here, let me get rid of this other distracting stuff for right now. What should the height of this thing be between 0 and 6? It's 0 everywhere else. But what should the height be between 0 and 6? What should it be?
1/6.
A sixth. And why is that, Aaliyah? What should I know about this thing if I integrate it?
It should add up to 1.
Right, the area under this should be 1. And
Mhm.
so what Aaliyah did is she said, well, if there's a length of 6 in which this random variable could fall, then the height of this thing needs to be 1/6 everywhere in order to make that happen. Does that make sense? Hopefully.
Mhm.
So that's what I've graphed here. I said, okay, this density is, you can see can you see my mouse moving around in here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for x less than 0, the function is 0. For x between 0 and 6, it's a 6th. And for x beyond 6, it's 0. Okay? And then what I did is I made the cumulative distribution function. That's what this is. And how in the world did I come up with this? Remember, the cumulative distribution function adds up all the area to the point x. Well, if I take any x below 0, how much area am I going to have under the density? How much
0.
is going to be under the density if I go to an x that's below 0?
0.
0. There's no area, which is why I said for x less than 0, the accumulated probability so far is 0. And what about for an x that happens to be between 0 and 6? What about for an x that happens to be between 0 and 6? So if I took an x like in here or something, okay? Well, let me stop sharing this for a minute, and I'll go over here and do a little work thing. So look, that's going to be the integral. Look, anything below 0 is 0. So it's just going to be the integral from 0 to whatever x happens to be of the density. So this is if 0 is less than or equal to x. Oh my goodness, this looks like a kindergartner is writing that. This is for an x that happens to be between 0 and 6. Yeah? So the integral from 0 to x, and I would integrate the density, which is 1/6 dx. But what, oops, I better use a different variable because x is up here. I should use a different variable of integration. What do you guys want to use? Like maybe y or something, right? Okay. So what is the antiderivative of 1/6 y? Sorry, this is dy. Oh my goodness, this is looking more and more like my 4-year-old's writing, although she wouldn't be writing integral symbols. That'd be awesome if she did, but okay, so the integral of 1/6 dy. What's the integral of 1/6 dy? What is the antiderivative of 1/6 dy?
Y over 6.
The 1/6, not quite, 1/6. What is the antiderivative of 1/6?
Times y.
1/6 times y, exactly right. And this is evaluated between 0 and x. You know what I'm saying? Those were the limits of integration. That's why I wanted to use a different variable in here. So it's the integral from 0 to x, 1/6 y. So evaluated at x and subtracted this thing evaluated at 0. What do I end up getting? 1/6 what?
X.
X. Okay. So that's what capital F of x is. Oops, oh my goodness, look at that. That's what capital F of x is for an x that happens to fall between 0 and 6. And it's 1/6 x. Therefore, so any questions on that?
So I guess is the y that you plug in, is that almost like a dummy variable? Just
Yeah,
to
yeah, right. That is exactly right. It's the variable of integration.
Okay.
You want to use the same variable in the integrand
Right.
that's in the limit of integration. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Makes sense.
Okay.
That makes sense.
So hang on. So let me go back to Desmos again. Here we go. So that's why, do you see this? That's why for x between 0 and 6, right here, that's why f of x is 1/6 x. That's exactly what we came up with over there. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then once you get beyond 6, how much area has accumulated? If I take an X value beyond 6, how much area has accumulated?
1.
All of it, 1, yeah? So that's
Mm.
what this is saying. So when I graph this thing, do you see there? That's my CDF. Do you see it? I think that's pretty cool. Man, how do I get rid of this stupid thing right here? So yeah, there it is right there. Okay, there it is right there. And here's the thing, here's a reason I wanted to show you this. Notice that the graph of the CDF doesn't have any breaks in it. Does that make sense? The graph of the CDF doesn't have any breaks in it. And that makes sense. If the cumulative distribution function ever had a jump at a point, if it ever jumped at a point, what would that mean about the probability at that point? I'm asking you guys. If the CDF ever like jumped at a point, so like if this thing was going along and it gets close to 3 and then boom, jumped up at a single point, what would that tell you about the probability at that point?
It would mean it has a probability greater than 0.
It would mean it would have a positive probability there at that point. But can that ever happen with a continuous random variable?
No.
No.
No. A continuous random variable, the probability of being equal to any value is 0. That's why the cumulative distribution function, no matter how obnoxious the density is, the cumulative distribution function will always be a continuous function if the random variable is continuous. Does that kind of make sense? I was trying to like make a big deal about that in the videos. Hopefully that makes sense. And by the way, what's going to happen if I take the derivative of the CDF? What's going to happen if I take the derivative of this cumulative distribution function? What do I get?
Just get the PDF.
I get the PDF. Watch, and that's this right here. Look at this. Let me just redo it. I'll go capital F, the CDF prime of X. Boom. Did you see the green thing jump on top of the red thing? See that? There it is. You get exactly the PDF. Okay, so capital F prime is just little f, the density. I think that's kind of a neat little thing that happens. Any questions on that? Questions? All right, other questions? What other questions do you have?
Just logistically, I was just wondering if you were planning on still having us take quizzes.
Yes, I will, but they'll be so it'll be the same kind of thing, and they'll be on the homework.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll post it. I'll post it in Canvas. It'll be like a PDF file.
Mm-hmm.
Very explicit instructions for how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like what you're allowed to use and whatnot.
Got it.
It'll most likely be like open book, open note type situation. I might be inclined to ask you to do, because you have your book and notes, I might be inclined to ask you to do maybe a problem that might take a little bit more than like 10 minutes or something.
Mm-hmm.
But you'll still have all your resources available. I'll let you use calculators and like Excel. That will start to become more necessary later on anyways. But then like you'll do the quiz and then you'll just upload it into Canvas. Okay, and
Yeah.
that's the same thing that you're doing on the test as well. You'll upload
Mm-hmm.
the test to Canvas. You'll just either snap pictures of pages and upload each page into Canvas, or scan the completed test to a file, PDF
Sounds
or
good.
something, and upload that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sweet, thanks.
Okay. All right. Okay. So other questions. Other questions. All right, just so you know, I mean, I don't really like this whiteboard option. I'm probably before the next time we meet, I'm probably going to try to figure out how to use my iPad or something. I think I can sync my iPad to Zoom and use a stylus or something. That'd be a little bit better so it doesn't look like a kindergartner's writing on the screen. But hopefully that'll get smoothed over in the next by next time. Okay. All right. Anything else? You guys have anything else at all? Anything at all? Oh, incidentally, I'm recording all of these sessions that we're having, just question and answer sessions. I'm recording it right now. So I'll upload these into Canvas as well, okay? Just so that you can go back and look through things if you want.
Thank you.
You know, you need you want to clarify or rewatch something. You'll be able to do that. So I'll upload all of these sessions to Canvas just so you have them at your disposal. Cool?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, if there's nothing else, I guess we could sit here for a half hour and stare at boxes. But, I can't even see your faces. You're the only ones looking at me. Did you guys try to get your faces to show up, or?
There you go.
Oh, there's Atticus right there. You guys decided not to?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh man. Oh, cool. You got a nice. You're in like a playroom or something. Amazing.
Yeah, I have a buddy who has like 50,000 Lego sets. So
Oh, that
here we
that
are.
is awesome. Yeah, that's nice. All right. Yeah, so I guess we could sit here and stare at each other for a while, but we don't have to do that necessarily. Hopefully you guys are doing all right. It's been an interesting few days, but we're in it together. It'll all work out. Confident in that. All right.
Yep.
So let's go ahead and sign off for now then, if that's okay. I'll go ahead and end this. I'll have office hours tomorrow at 8:30 if you want to ask
Thank
questions.
Cool.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep, thanks.